From Notorious Big to David Carradine to Tupac Shakur, the deaths of celebrities can garner as much drama and controversy as their lives.
You know what I'm saying? It's that situation when you got, we are living in a war zone.
That's why in this video, I'll list 5 stars who died in suspicious circumstances and try to find out what actually happened. Let's get to it. Tupac Shakur. Before we delve into the shocking details of Tupac Shakur's murder, it's important to understand the events that led up to that fateful night in Las Vegas. Tupac, accompanied by Marion Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records, attended the Bruce Seldon vs. Mike Tyson boxing match at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. Little did they know that this night would set the stage for a tragic chain of events. As they left the match, one of Knight's associates, Trevon Tree Lane, a member of the mob Pyrus gang from Compton, California, spotted Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a member of the rival Southside Compton Crips gang, in the MGM Grand lobby. This encounter would ignite a violent altercation that would have far-reaching consequences. Earlier that year, in July 1996, Anderson and a group of Southside Crips had attempted to rob Lane in a Foot Locker store at the Lakewood Center Mall in Lakewood, California. Lane wasted no time in informing Tupac about Anderson's presence, and without hesitation, Tupac confronted Anderson in the lobby. He asked Anderson if he was from the South, referring to the Southside Crips, and delivered a powerful punch to his face, knocking him to the ground. The situation quickly escalated as Shakur's entourage, including Knight, joined in the assault on Anderson. The entire brawl was captured on the MGM Grand's video surveillance, a chilling record of the violence that would soon unfold. Hotel security eventually intervened and broke up the fight, but the tension between the rival gangs had reached a boiling point. After the brawl, Shakur returned to his hotel, the Luxor Las Vegas, where he disclosed his involvement in the Anderson fight to his girlfriend, Kidada Jones. He had previously promised to return to her after entering the MGM Grand, but now he had a different plan in mind. Shakur changed his clothes and left with Knight in a BMW sedan, heading to Club 662, which was owned by Knight, to perform at a charity concert. Little did they know that their decision to leave the safety of the hotel would have dire consequences. At around 11 o'clock to 11:05 p.m., Shakur and Knight were pulled over on Las Vegas Boulevard by officers from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Bike Patrol. The reason for the stop was the loud car stereo and the absence of license plates. Although the plates were found in the trunk of Knight's car, the party was released without being cited a few minutes later. At 11:10 p.m., while stopped at a red light at the intersection of East Flamingo Road and Koval Lane, a vehicle occupied by 2 women pulled up on the left side of Shakur's brand new 1996 BMW 750iL. Shakur, known for his charisma and charm, exchanged words with the women and even invited them to join him at Club 662. Little did he know that this seemingly innocent interaction would be his last. Just 5 minutes later, at 11:15 p.m., a white 4-door late-model Cadillac pulled up to Knight's right side. The shooter, seated in the back of the Cadillac, rolled down the window and rapidly fired gunshots from a .40 S and W Glock 22 at Shakur's BMW. The bullets found their mark, striking Shakur 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, and once in the thigh. One of the bullets pierced his right lung, causing severe internal damage. Knight, too, was hit by fragmentation from the gunfire. Despite his injuries and a flat tire on his vehicle, Knight managed to drive Shakur and himself a mile away from the scene, to Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon Avenue. They were once again pulled over, this time by the Bike Patrol, who immediately called for paramedics through their radio. The paramedics and police arrived on the scene and rushed Shakur and Knight to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. It was a race against time to save Shakur's life, but tragically, his injuries were too severe. He was heavily sedated, placed on life support machines, and ultimately put into a medically induced coma. Despite the efforts of the medical team, Shakur succumbed to his injuries 6 days later, on September 13, 1996, at 4:03 p.m. The aftermath of Tupac's murder was marked by shock and disbelief. The music industry, fans, and the general public struggled to come to terms with the loss of such a talented and influential artist. The investigation into his murder was met with numerous challenges. Witnesses were uncooperative and leads seemed to dissipate. The case took on an air of mystery, leaving many unanswered questions. Rumors and theories swirled around the circumstances of Tupac's murder. Some speculated that it was a result of the ongoing East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry, with the Notorious B.I.G. and his associates being implicated. Others believed that it was a targeted hit on Suge Knight, orchestrated to gain control of Death Row Records. The truth remained elusive, and the investigation hit roadblocks at every turn. Furthermore, there are claims that Tupac's death was staged, and he is still alive. These theories suggest that Tupac faked his death to escape the pressures of fame and live a life in anonymity. However, there is no concrete evidence to support these claims, and they are largely fueled by speculation and wishful thinking. Despite his untimely demise, Tupac's influence and legacy have only grown stronger over the years. His music continues to resonate with audiences, and his words still carry weight and relevance. His albums, such as Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me, are considered classics and have stood the test of time. Tupac's impact extends beyond music. He was a multifaceted artist who dabbled in acting, poetry, and activism. His performances in films like Juice and Poetic Justice showcased his talent and versatility as an artist. Tupac's activism and outspokenness on issues of social justice inspired a new generation of artists to use their platform for change. Marilyn Monroe. In the days leading up to her tragic death, Marilyn Monroe's alleged romantic relationships with President John F. Kennedy and his brother, Attorney General Robert Kennedy, had become the subject of intense speculation and fascination. According to Anthony Summers, Monroe's biographer, and the revelations presented in The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, the unheard tapes, Monroe confided in a friend that she was very much in love and was going to marry Bobby Kennedy. This shocking revelation sheds light on the depth of Marilyn's feelings for the younger Kennedy brother and raises questions about the nature of their relationship. In the documentary, Monroe's housekeeper, Eunice Murray, reveals on tape that Robert Kennedy was present at Monroe's home in the afternoon on the day she died. This revelation adds a new layer of intrigue to the story, suggesting that the Kennedy connection may have played a significant role in the events leading up to Monroe's death. Furthermore, Murray discloses that Kennedy and Monroe had a terrible fight on the day of her death. The exact details of this altercation remain unknown, but it hints at a tumultuous relationship between the two. Did their argument contribute to Marilyn's state of mind on that fateful night? The documentary also confirms that Kennedy flew to the airport in a helicopter around 2 or 3 a.m. on the night of Monroe's death. This raises questions about his sudden departure and whether it was related to the tragic events that unfolded later. Was Kennedy trying to distance himself from the situation, or was there something more sinister at play? The alleged involvement of the Kennedys in Marilyn Monroe's life has long been a subject of speculation. Some theories suggest that Monroe's relationships with the Kennedy brothers posed a threat to national security, as there were fears of her ties to communism. These theories propose that Monroe's death may have been orchestrated to protect the Kennedy administration from potential scandal. However, it is important to note that these claims remain unproven and are based on speculation and circumstantial evidence. The true nature of Monroe's relationships with the Kennedys and their involvement in her death continue to be shrouded in mystery. Some theories suggest that Monroe's death may have been orchestrated to silence her and prevent any potential revelations that could have had far-reaching consequences for the Kennedy administration. The government's fears of Monroe's ties to communism may have played a significant role in the events leading up to her untimely demise. However, it is important to approach these theories with caution, as concrete evidence linking Monroe to any subversive activities remains elusive. The true extent of Monroe's involvement in political matters and the government's fears of her ties to communism may forever remain a subject of speculation and conjecture. Still, the death of Marilyn Monroe on August 5, 1962, remains one of the most perplexing and controversial cases in Hollywood history. The official narrative states that Marilyn Monroe died by suicide, with an empty bottle of sleeping pills found on her nightstand. However, the details surrounding her death have been the subject of intense scrutiny and speculation. The Netflix documentary, The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard Tapes, challenges the official timeline and presents a new perspective on the events leading up to her tragic end. According to the documentary, Monroe's press relations manager, Arthur Jacobs, fudged the timeline of her death. An attendant at the Hollywood Bowl alerted Jacobs around 10:30 p.m. on August 4th that something was terribly wrong. This contradicts the widely reported 3:30 a.m. discovery of Monroe's lifeless body. The revelation raises questions about what truly transpired during those crucial hours and whether there was a deliberate attempt to manipulate the official narrative. Furthermore, several members of the ambulance team confirmed that Monroe had been taken to the hospital by ambulance late that evening, while still alive, but tragically died en route. This revelation challenges the widely held belief that Monroe died in her home and raises doubts about the accuracy of the official cause of death. While concrete evidence to support these theories is scarce, the enduring fascination with Monroe's death speaks to the enduring allure of the enigmatic Hollywood icon. The unanswered questions and conflicting accounts continue to fuel speculation and keep the mystery alive. Marilyn Monroe's life may have been tragically cut short, but her impact on popular culture and the world of entertainment continues to resonate to this day. Marilyn Monroe's iconic image, with her platinum blonde hair, red lips, and captivating beauty, has become synonymous with glamour and sensuality. Her unique blend of vulnerability and charisma captivated audiences and made her an enduring symbol of femininity and allure. Monroe's on-screen performances, such as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Some Like It Hot, showcased her comedic talent and solidified her status as a Hollywood legend. Beyond her film career, Monroe's personal struggles and untimely death have added layers of complexity to her legacy. The mystery surrounding her death has only heightened the fascination with her life and contributed to the enduring mythos that surrounds her. Monroe's tragic story has become a cautionary tale of the perils of fame and the dark side of the entertainment industry. Monroe's impact extends beyond the realm of film and into the world of art. Artists such as Andy Warhol and Richard Avedon have immortalized her in their works, capturing her essence and transforming her into an enduring cultural icon. Monroe's image has been reproduced countless times, becoming a symbol of beauty, desire, and the allure of celebrity. Bob Saget. From his vibrant personality to the shocking events leading up to his death, the story of Bob Saget captivates us all. It was January 7th, 2022, when the 65-year-old comedian arrived at the luxurious hotel, seemingly brimming with the vitality of a man half his age. Witnesses recall Saget's cheerful demeanor as he cracked jokes and waved to people in the lobby. He was in high spirits, radiating positive energy. Whenever fans approached him for selfies, he would eagerly grab their phones, joking around as he captured the moments with them. Saget's infectious laughter filled the air, leaving a lasting impression on those lucky enough to encounter him. But what brought Bob Saget to the Ritz-Carlton that day? Some speculate it was a well-deserved getaway, a chance for the beloved actor to relax and unwind. Others suggest he may have been in town for a secret project or a private event. Whatever the reason, Saget's presence at the hotel would soon become the center of a tragic and perplexing mystery. As the weekend progressed, the atmosphere surrounding Saget's stay took a dark turn. On January 9th, the unthinkable happened. Saget was found lifeless in his hotel room bed, leaving everyone stunned and raising countless questions about how such a vibrant and beloved figure could meet such a sudden and tragic end. To piece together the puzzle, investigators turned to surveillance footage from the hotel. The last time Saget was captured on camera, he was seen exiting the elevator on the 9th floor. Walking down the long hallway towards his room, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Saget showed no signs of distress or discomfort. At 2:17 a.m., using his keycard, Saget entered his room. He hung a Do Not Disturb placard on the doorknob, signaling his desire for privacy, and locked the door from the inside. Little did anyone know that this would be the last time Saget would be seen alive. The following afternoon, hotel security made a grim discovery. Saget's lifeless body lay in the room, surrounded by an air of mystery. Authorities meticulously combed through the scene, searching for clues that could shed light on the events leading to his death. Their investigation led them to the bathroom, where they checked the marble end tables and counters for any traces of blood or hair. Surprisingly, they found none. This discovery led them to believe that Saget may have lost consciousness in the bathroom, falling backward onto the unforgiving marble floor, resulting in the fatal head trauma. But what happened next? Did Saget regain consciousness, only to stumble into bed before losing consciousness once again? The timeline suggests that he may have passed away around 4 a.m., approximately 12 hours before his body was discovered. As the investigation into Bob Saget's mysterious death continues, those close to the actor choose to focus on the cherished memories they shared with him. Full House co-star Candace Cameron Bure reflects on the laughs and good times they had together, determined to keep Saget's legacy alive. Now, let's delve into the autopsy findings and the ruling surrounding Bob Saget's tragic death. Chief Medical Examiner Joshua Stephanie Maryland conducted a thorough examination of Saget's body, revealing crucial details that shed light on the circumstances surrounding his passing. According to the autopsy report, Saget's cause of death was determined to be blunt head trauma. The severity of his injuries was evident, with severe fractures to the back of his head and around his eyes. These findings pointed to a significant impact that ultimately proved fatal. Dr. Stephanie emphasized that Saget's death was ruled an accident, unrelated to any illicit drugs or toxins. The absence of such substances in his body further supported this conclusion. The ruling dispelled any notions of foul play or intentional harm, leaving investigators to focus on understanding the events that led to the fatal head trauma. The autopsy findings raised a multitude of questions. How did Saget sustain such severe injuries? What circumstances led to the blunt head trauma that ultimately claimed his life? These questions lingered, fueling the mystery surrounding his untimely demise. The ruling of Saget's death as an accident brought some closure to the investigation. However, it did little to quell the lingering questions and the sense of loss felt by his family, friends, and fans worldwide. The beloved comedian's sudden and tragic passing left a void in the entertainment industry and in the hearts of those who admired him. The sudden and tragic death of Bob Saget has had a profound impact on those who knew him and the entertainment industry as a whole. As news of his passing spread, A wave of shock and grief swept through the hearts of fans and colleagues alike. The loss of such a beloved comedian and friend left an indelible void that will be felt for years to come. Colleagues and friends have come forward to share their reflections on the life and legacy of Bob Saget. Full House co-star Candace Cameron Bure, who portrayed his on-screen daughter, expressed her deep sorrow and shared heartfelt memories of their time together. She described Saget as not just a talented actor, but also a kind and generous soul who brought laughter and joy to everyone around him. Others in the entertainment industry have also paid tribute to Saget's impact. Comedians and fellow actors have shared stories of his comedic genius and the profound influence he had on their own careers. Saget's ability to seamlessly transition between family-friendly sitcoms and edgier stand-up comedy showcased his versatility and talent. Beyond his professional achievements, Saget was known for his philanthropic efforts and dedication to charitable causes. He used his platform to raise awareness and support for various organizations, leaving a lasting impact on the lives of those in need. His generosity and compassion were evident both on and off the screen. The loss of Bob Saget serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. His sudden passing has prompted many to reflect on their own lives and the legacy they hope to leave behind. It is a stark reminder to embrace laughter, spread kindness, and make the most of every opportunity. Notorious Big, from the East Coast-West Coast feud to the mysterious circumstances of his murder, we will explore the shocking details and unanswered questions that continue to haunt this case. Get ready to dive into the captivating world of the mysterious death of Notorious Big. Before the fateful night of March 9, 1997, there were a series of events that set the stage for the mysterious death of Notorious Big. Let's take a closer look at the timeline leading up to that tragic night. In February 1997, Christopher Wallace, also known as the Notorious Big, traveled to Los Angeles, California, to promote his highly anticipated second studio album, Life After Death. This album was set to solidify his status as one of the greatest rappers of his time. As part of his promotional efforts, he also planned to film a music video for the lead single, Hypnotize. During a radio interview on the Doghouse on San Francisco's Kyle, Wallace expressed his concerns about his safety. He revealed that he had hired security not only because of the ongoing East Coast-West Coast hip-hop feud, but also due to the murder of Tupac Shakur, which had occurred 6 months prior. Wallace understood that security was a necessity for high-profile celebrities like himself. The tension between the East Coast and West Coast rap scenes was at an all-time high. Notorious Big, representing the East Coast, and Tupac Shakur, representing the West Coast, were at the center of this bitter feud. The rivalry escalated with diss tracks and public insults, creating a volatile atmosphere in the music industry. On March 7, 1997, just 2 days before his death, Notorious Big attended the 1997 Soul Train Music Awards. As he took the stage to present an award to Toni Braxton, he was met with boos from some members of the audience. This incident highlighted the intensity of the East Coast-West Coast feud and the polarizing effect it had on fans. The following morning, Notorious Big was scheduled to travel to London. However, his plans took an unexpected turn. Instead of heading to the airport, he and the Bad Boy Records entourage attended an after-party hosted by Vibe Magazine, Quest Records, and Tanqueray Gin at the prestigious Peterson Automotive Museum in the Carthay Circle neighborhood of Los Angeles. The guest list for this star-studded event was extensive, with notable names from the music and entertainment industry in attendance. Faith Evans, Queen Latifah, Aaliyah, Chris Tucker, the Wayans Brothers, Genuine, Irv Gotti, Jewel, Jermaine Dupri, The Lox, Da Brat, Escape, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Goody Mob, Martin Lawrence, Kenny Burns, Russell Simmons, Ricky Bell, DJ Clue, Jay Flex, Clark Kent, DJ Quick, Ed Lover, and members of the Bloods and Crips gangs were among the more than 1,000 people present. Photographer Eric Johnson, who was supposed to photograph Notorious Big during his time in Los Angeles, revealed that he continuously received death threats, making it impossible for him to pinpoint a safe location for the shoot. This chilling revelation further emphasized the dangerous environment surrounding the rapper during his final days. It was on the night of March 9, 1997, that tragedy struck. Notorious Big left the after-party in 2 green Chevrolet GMC Suburbans, heading to an after-party at Steve Stout's house in the Hollywood Hills. The Los Angeles Fire Department had closed the party early due to smoking, loud music, and overcrowding. Notorious Big rode in the front passenger seat of one of the SUVs, accompanied by his associates Damian D-Rock Butler, Lil Cease from Junior Mafia, and driver Gregory G. Money Young. As the streets became crowded with people leaving the museum, Notorious Big's SUV came to a stop at a red light at the corner of Wilshire Boulevard and South Fairfax Avenue. Just 50 yards away, a dark-colored 1994-1996 Chevrolet Impala SS pulled up to the side of the Suburban. In a matter of seconds, the driver of the Impala, a black male, lowered his window, drew a 9mm blue steel pistol, and opened fire on the SUV. 4 bullets struck Notorious Big, forever altering the course of music history. In a desperate attempt to save his life, Notorious Big's entourage rushed him to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Doctors performed an emergency thoracotomy, but their efforts were in vain. At the young age of 24, Christopher Wallace, the Notorious Big, was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. The autopsy report, released years later, revealed the extent of the injuries inflicted upon Notorious. Big 3 of the 4 shots were not fatal, with 1 bullet hitting his left forearm, another hitting his back and exiting through his left shoulder, and a third hitting his left thigh. However, the 4th bullet proved to be fatal, entering through his right hip and causing severe damage to his colon, liver, heart, and left lung. The murder of Notorious Big sent shockwaves through the music industry and left a void that could never be filled. Fellow hip-hop artists and fans worldwide mourned the loss of this talented storyteller and lyrical genius. The tragic events of that night marked a turning point in the East Coast-West Coast feud and left a lasting impact on the world of rap. Following the shocking murder of Notorious Big, an intense investigation was launched to uncover the truth behind his untimely death. However, the path to justice has been marred by controversy, conflicting theories, and a lack of concrete evidence. Let's delve into the details of the investigation and the various allegations that have surrounded this perplexing case. Immediately after the shooting, reports began to surface linking Notorious Big's murder to the killing of Tupac Shakur 6 months earlier. The drive-by shootings and the highly publicized East Coast-West Coast feud, in which both rappers were central figures, fueled speculation of a connection between the 2 murders. However, despite these speculations, no concrete evidence ever emerged to directly implicate Notorious Big in Tupac's death. In the aftermath of Notorious Big's murder, 2 main theories emerged. One theory implicated Marion Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records, as the orchestrator of the murder. This theory suggested that Knight sought revenge for the death of Tupac Shakur, who was also signed to Death Row Records, in a similar drive-by shooting. The alleged motive was rooted in the bitter East Coast-West Coast feud and the desire to eliminate rival artists. The second theory pointed to corrupt Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD officers, as being involved in the murder. This theory gained traction due to the rampant corruption within the LAPD at the time, particularly in the infamous Rampart Division. Whatever the case may be, we'd never know. David Carradine. On June 4, 2009, Carradine's life came to a tragic end, leaving the world in shock. Initially labeled as a suicide, the circumstances surrounding his death soon took a mysterious turn. From the discovery of his lifeless body to the conflicting autopsy reports, we will carefully examine the available information to separate fact from speculation. On that fateful day in June 2009, the world was stunned by the news of David Carradine's death. The initial investigation revealed a grim scene, a lifeless body hanging from a drapery cord in the cramped closet of a Bangkok hotel room. The immediate assumption was suicide, but as the case unfolded, conflicting reports emerged, casting doubt on the official findings. The local authorities initially concluded that Carradine had taken his own life. However, as his family and friends refused to accept this explanation, the cause of death was later changed to accidental asphyxiation. This new conclusion suggested that Carradine had engaged in a sexual practice known as autoerotic asphyxiation, which had gone tragically wrong. But not everyone was convinced. Marina Anderson, Carradine's ex-wife, vehemently disagreed with the official findings. In her memoir, David Carradine, The Eye of My Tornado, she presented a compelling argument against the accidental asphyxiation theory. Anderson pointed out that the details surrounding his death simply didn't align with his behavior. According to Anderson, Carradine did have a penchant for kinky sex practices, including bondage and being choked to the point of orgasm. However, she argued that the report concerning his death didn't make sense. For David to accidentally do it to himself, that's not the act. He never flew solo when we were together. That didn't fit the scenario. David liked participation, she explained. Furthermore, Anderson highlighted the physical evidence that contradicted the accidental asphyxiation theory. She pointed out that the marks found on Carradine's neck were not consistent with self-inflicted injuries. You can't have marks around your neck by just doing an autoerotic or sexual asphyxiation. It went over the line. There was something really hinky that happened, she asserted. The conflicting reports and Anderson's doubts raised more questions than answers. Was Carradine's death truly a result of accidental asphyxiation? Or was there something more sinister at play? The mystery deepened as theories began to emerge, suggesting that foul play may have been involved. In the search for answers surrounding David Carradine's death, an unexpected theory emerged from an unlikely source: his family attorney, Mark Garagos. Garagos proposed a controversial explanation that sent shockwaves through the media and public alike. He suggested that a mysterious sect of secret kung fu assassins may have been responsible for Carradine's untimely demise. While this theory may sound like something out of a movie, Garagos presented it as a serious possibility. He believed that Carradine's involvement in the martial arts world and his iconic role in the Kung Fu series may have attracted the attention of a clandestine group with deadly intentions. The idea of secret assassins skilled in Kung Fu may seem far-fetched, but it added another layer of intrigue to an already perplexing case. Garagos did not provide concrete evidence to support his theory, but he argued that it was just as plausible as the other shocking aspects of Carradine's death. Over the years, the death of David Carradine has continued to captivate the public's attention, leading to the emergence of additional details and controversies surrounding the case. These revelations have only deepened the mystery and fueled speculation about what truly happened on that fateful day in June 2009. One aspect that has come to light is Carradine's complex personal life. Throughout his career, he was known for his multiple marriages and relationships. His fifth wife, Annie Bierman, was with him at the time of his death. However, some have questioned the nature of their relationship and whether there were any underlying tensions or conflicts that may have played a role in the tragic events. Another controversy that has arisen is the involvement of the company that produced Carradine's last film, Stretch. Annie Bierman, Carradine's wife, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against MK2 Productions, alleging that they were responsible for his demise. The lawsuit was eventually settled for $400,000, but it raised questions about the potential role of the film production in the circumstances surrounding Carradine's death. Furthermore, the conflicting autopsy reports and the handling of the investigation have also sparked controversy. Some have criticized the initial rush to label Carradine's death as a suicide without thoroughly exploring other possibilities. The change in the cause of death from suicide to accidental asphyxiation has raised doubts about the thoroughness and accuracy of the investigation. As time has passed, the public's thirst for answers has not waned. The death of David Carradine remains an unsolved mystery, with no definitive conclusion reached. Theories continue to circulate, and debates persist about what truly transpired in that Bangkok hotel room. Thanks for watching. Click on the videos on your screen